We got one last Browns topic we got to get to today. It's brought to us by Rippling. If you're a business owner, here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your team, simply don't work together. That's not SaaS, that's SAD, software as a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling is the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance, all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. And right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/LockedOnNFL. Learn more at Rippling, RIPPLING.com/LockedOnNFL for 6 months free. Terms and conditions apply. G. Bush, get your novel out. Jason, I hope you brought a pillow to take a nap.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah, all good.
I just go now. I got work to do.
Yeah.
Mr.
Listen.
J. Crawford,
I don't really have anything, guys.
What?
you were in Florida when the news of Paul Depodesta came out. This is your boogeyman.
What took so long? That's all I have.
Here's your chance.
Like,
let it go.
It was funny. I mean, when I'm down there playing ball, I am out. I'm out. That's it. I'm playing baseball. And every once in a while, something big will happen, and I'll look at my phone and be like, what the hell did the world explode? My email, my text, all my DMs were going bananas. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And I did see a headline on my phone about, it just said Depodesta, and I thought, he must got fired. I put my phone back away. I didn't even look. Because I thought that's how his tenure here would end. I mean, really, all I have is what took so long. That's it. And I'm surprised that
he didn't get fired, though, Jay.
No, I know he did.
Yeah.
But he had to know that the end was in sight.
Was it?
I don't know. I don't know.
He was going to get fired.
I tend to think that
he was going to get fired.
All right.
Yeah. And I think he's a smart guy. He really is a smart guy.
Yes.
And he found another sucker, and now let him go screw up the Rockies.
Well, I said
I don't know how he can screw them up anymore.
They're already the worst.
He basically, I laughed and I go, okay. So he went from the dumpster fire of the NFL to the dumpster fire of Major League Baseball.
he was their third choice.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I was
at least.
It's funny. I was listening. I don't know. It's funny, but I was listening to MLB radio this morning, and I heard Jim Bowden, who was a long time.
I would have hired Jim before I hired him.
Jim Bowden said that Depodesta's been looking for a baseball job for 3 years.
I believe it.
He's been looking to get out of the Browns, and he's been looking for a baseball job for 3 years. Nobody wanted him, and he goes, Paul Depodesta's problem. He goes, as you said, very smart guy.
Very smart.
Graduated #1 in his class at Harvard.
Yes.
I mean, like, you got to be pretty damn smart. He said his problem when he was in Major League Baseball is he had no people skills.
Yes.
He has no people skills whatsoever.
Didn't with the Browns
either. And that continues to be a problem. And everything he does is analytics based. And I know Jason, you also, really think analytics is, people that ignore analytics are stupid.
Yeah.
But the best guys find the balance between people and analytics.
It's how you use
the best organizations use both to find a balance, and those are the winning organizations. The organizations that are 100% on one or the other are losing organizations.
Failures.
And the Browns front office the last few years has been run purely by analytics only and not by people. And that's why they've brought in so many bad character guys, because they don't care about those things. And now before that, for years, the Browns only did it by gut and by people, and they sucked at it for the most part. So it wasn't like that they had the right people doing that.
Well, I don't even know that they sucked at it. I mean, Dorsey was, everybody uses analytics. To say that nobody, there's somebody in the NFL that stiff arms analytics, that's nonsense. There
was back in the day. Now
it's how much you use analytics and how you use it. I think that's more how you use it. I think Dorsey brought in all kinds of great talent.
He did, yes.
And doesn't get the credit for the talent that he brought in.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Well, a lot of people just ran him off and never thought of him again.
No,
I thought at the time we were running him off, I thought, wait.
He got a lot of players.
Why are we running him off?
I don't know if you remember this. I was filling in for Dustin.
Yeah.
The day he got fired. You and I did the show. It was like New Year's Eve or something like that. When
they fired them together, didn't they?
No.
Coach, I thought the coach and GM got at the same time.
The day John got fired, you and I was filling in for Dustin, and you went berserk on the radio about this is insane. Why would you get rid of this guy?
I thought it was insane too.
I didn't like it at the time. Ultimately, it was the Freddie Kitchens hire was a huge mistake by John Dorsey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Freddie Kitchens was not and as much as we're down on Stefanski, he's a professional.
Yeah.
Freddie Kitchens was not a professional.
Let's think about it like this.
Yeah.
Hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
But remember when Greg Williams took over, they were in the they were in the crapper.
They were 2-5-1.
They were 2-5-1. They went on a run.
Yeah.
They won 5 games, and I think they were close in a lot of them. And the one thing that people talked about was, look at this offense. It was creative. It was innovative. Freddie Kitchens was the all-shucks guy.
Right.
Baker was throwing the ball much better.
And John let his emotions and the emotions of
people on that staff will tell you now, there was a lot of people behind Freddie propping Freddie up.
Yeah.
On that offensive
He's
side.
not a professional.
He's not this offensive genius.
No, you don't know what he was doing.
They did a really nice job. They got more out of Chubb and Kareem together than anybody else did.
And part of it is like I had a little bit of that's stretching it a little bit, but a tiny bit of a relationship with John Dorsey because we used to be at camp all the time, and he would come sit with us. He would bust my balls all the time. We had so much fun.
He's a great guy. I loved him.
He the guy knows football, and ultimately they threw the baby out with the bathwater because of that. Again, there was no denying that the Freddie Kitchens hire was an extremely stupid move by Dorsey, but it shouldn't have been enough to get him fired.
No, but I think what did get him fired, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Depodesta used that as the opportunity to get him out of town.
It wasn't just Freddie. There was disagreement between John and the analytics staff.
Right, he didn't want them involved.
And it goes back to what we've said 100 times about the alignment of the front office, and you've got these competing agendas, and it never works. But you also don't want an echo chamber. They've yet to be able to strike a balance of being able
push
to
back,
agree and disagree.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you show me an organization that doesn't have pushback, I'll show you a losing organization. That some of the best ideas come from confrontation and discussion and debate.
Yeah.
And if everybody, that's why, and I'm not making fun of you for saying it, but it's what you say all the time. Like, they're on the same page. And I always say, but it's the wrong page.
Yeah.
And so for me, being on the right page doesn't get you very much. Someone in the organization should be saying, wait a minute here on Deshaun Watson. Wait a minute here on whomever. Like, and it seems like, yep, we're all in agreement. Let's go get him. Let's do it. Okay, well, all of your decisions were wrong.
I don't think Jimmy wants guys like that, unfortunately.
No, Jimmy doesn't. Jimmy wants yes men, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want anybody that's going to challenge him.
That's why everyone who throws their hands up and says, "Oh my God, they had Mike Vrabel in the building." I'm like, guys, Mike Vrabel would never work.
No, not the way it was set up.
Given what he just left in Tennessee.
Tennessee was a nightmare for him.
And the clashes that he had with ownership there.
Yep.
You think he's going to walk back into another situation?
No
way.
You know where he ran to? New England. Because he knows there's an owner there that will allow you to win and get out of the way.
We had Kevin in Friday, and I said, have you ever heard of an owner sitting in the Friday and Monday meetings? Because Jimmy's legendary for being in the strategy meetings and asking questions. And
oh, my God.
And Kevin said the only owner that I've ever worked for that sat in on those was Mr. Kraft, was Robert Kraft. But he sat in the back and just listened.
And never talked.
He just sat in the back.
Listening is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
You
all
own the
for
team.
that.
You need to be informed.
Yeah, that's like the Colts owner was getting, Ursay's daughter or whomever it is, wife. I don't know who she is.
No, it's his daughter.
She should not be on the sideline. That's insane.
No.
I got zero problem with it.
Oh, it's insane.
It's a bad look.
Who wants to work
with
with your boss standing over your shoulder?
Yeah, and it's not because she's a woman. It's if Jimmy's on the sideline, I'm going to say the same thing. Get the hell off the sideline.
If you want to sit
working for him.
But the headset, listening on the headset, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, in the press box.
Yeah, but don't be on the sideline.
Go in the press box.
Yeah.
If you want to listen, go sit in the press box and sit on the headset.
They seem to be cooking. How was their record
right now?
It's
Great.
Yeah, let's see long term what happens there. But I think that Paul had a lot to do with, because there was a clash. I always felt like there was a tug of war between Dorsey and Paul won. Dorsey got fired.
Yeah. And that's when they started listening more to, because for a while Paul was here and they never listened to anything he said. Like, he wanted Sean McDermott and they hired Hugh. And he wanted Kevin and they hired Freddie. So it's like, well, why is he here? No one's listening to anything he's got to say. And then after when they fired Freddie is when they seemed to start listening to him a little bit more. And that's when they went and got Kevin. And for a while it was working. And that's why I said, I think he is good at identifying coaches, because some of that stuff crosses from sport to sport. That's why I mentioned Bob Myers earlier.
Yeah,
Bob is just a really smart guy.
I would agree with that.
Who understands relationships, and it's about building organizations. Who's the guy that used to have on Andrew Brandt. I asked Andrew one day, I said, you think you could run a team in another sport? He said, yeah. Because it's not identifying the talent and picking the players. It's setting up the system and it's setting up the structure and knowing.
I agree with that.
And that was supposed to be what Paul did.
And honestly, I think
but you got to live here too. Like you got to be here.
But you know what? I think everybody wanted him somewhere else.
Will he move to Colorado?
Because he's such a bristly figure. But I do think that the one thing that I admire about the Indians and now the Guardians is, like, Tito was an out-of-the-park home run hire. And they get it right a second time in vote. And that, to me, Jay, I know the general manager is important, but I just think it's the face of the organization, to me, is the head coach. And they set the temperature in the room. And I felt it at spring training. I talked to you about it. You felt it. There was just something was vibing about the energy and the atmosphere. I didn't know that they were going to go on and win the division, and I didn't predict that.
The Tito thing had run its course, and they needed.
I think Tito was out of energy. They needed a new voice.
They needed new blood,
and they got a new voice. Yeah. But the fact that you get it right twice in a row, and really with Tito, they were going back to a guy they knew.
Yeah.
But with Vogt, it was a critical hire. And they got it right. And to me, that's where you have to hit a home run. Like in New England, the players are essentially the same this year. They brought Vrabel in, and with it, an entirely new message. And Mr. Kraft did a very smart thing. He went and found a guy that knows the Belichick way. And obviously, Belichick winning had a lot to do with Tom Brady, and I think they benefited one another. And I'm not saying Vrabel's going to go on to win multiple Super Bowls in New England, but it would not surprise me in the least.
Wouldn't surprise me either.
The way that team has responded to him, particularly, and I gave the Travion example earlier. The guy was so deep in his doghouse, he got 2 carries a couple of games ago. When Mike felt that the message had been received, he brought him back into his fold, and now the guy's looking at him on the sidelines on long touchdowns runs. Is it okay if I score, coach? It's just he sets the culture, and he got it right. Well, and Kevin, I think, is a good offensive coordinator, but the culture he said here was a losing culture.
No, I think he'll be a good head coach elsewhere.
I hope so.
But
I hope he is.
I do think that yesterday was the first time we looked at us and said, I don't think there's anything left to save. Now, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out.
Well, you said, Francona was obviously a great hire, but, that wasn't a risk. You knew Francona was going to be a great hire.
Yeah. And they knew him, too. They had a relationship.
And here's the thing with Francona. The equivalent of Francona in football is not coming to coach the Browns.
Never. Why would you?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas
Tito used that as the reason why he was coming here was his relationship with Antonetti and
exactly,
and that was why he came here.
And despite the fact that the Browns will spend money and the Guardians will not, as a baseball manager, Francona knew that coming in, that he was hamstrung by the owner's inability to spend, and yet he's like, this is a good organization. I have a relationship. I'm going to go here. Whereas for the Browns, the coach of a coach of that caliber is no way picking the Browns, even though he knows the owner would spend.
I mean, he was the equivalent of a Super Bowl winning coach.
Why would any coach that has an option
Mike
pick the Browns?
Mike Holmgren came here and refused to coach, which was crazy.
Well, he stole money.
He was cashing checks. You see what I'm saying? You might get a dude with a resume, but he might come in and be like, it's
by
the
way,
Browns.
and maybe I'm wrong about this, I have zero interest in Gruden. Zero.
Oh, I'm with you.
No, I don't either. And I was a Gruden fan when I was in Tampa.
Right, but
because I saw the effect he had.
That game has changed.
The ship has sailed, bro.
And I think now, when he came to Tampa, I don't think everybody knew what his shtick was.
Right.
They knew him. He'd been around and had some success as a coordinator. But in Tampa, he became a caricature of himself.
Right.
And that's what he is now.
Yeah, the Raiders thing was a disaster, and now he's
awful.
So what about Belichick?
No,
I'm with you. I'm a no.
And I wouldn't even want Cowher. The game has changed. It's different now. So I don't know. I know you say you want someone with a track record, and I do too.
No, not
but those guys, the guys with the track. What's Doug Peterson doing right now?
They're 90. I don't know.
Where's
golfing?
I mean, Doug Peterson's he's an interesting guy to me. in that.
You don't got your Peyton Manning. You ain't got your Peyton Manning article written yet.
He ain't coming here.
I know he ain't, but you know how it is. He's the mythical. He's the new
Trying
coward.
to do numbers, Jason.
He ain't coming here.
I mean, that's
on earth would he
that's
do that?
the holy grail. They've been saying that for how many years? How many
He's
years?
going to
have been
taint his reputation?
He is not coming here.
You know, if Jimmy would say if Jimmy's ever going to take a back seat to someone,
Yeah,
it would be to Peyton.
Right.
So if Peyton said, "I'm coming, Jimmy, but I'm barring you from the building. You cannot come into I don't want to see you in Berea."
He got it.
That'd be awesome.
Do you think he would sign off on that? Even if he said, the way
I
this
think
is
if it- I think
this
he
is
would
set
with
up,
Peyton.
I'm the end all be all.
You know what?
I will come and show up if I get the keys to the castle.
I'll tell
Could
you what,
Jimmy
guys.
live up to that?
I'll tell you what.
Could he live up to it? No. Would he agree to it? Yes.
Okay.
But he wouldn't live up to it.
I'll tell you what. I do.
Snake on the deal.
I do a weekly betting pick.
Giants just fired Dayball.
Wow.
Dayball.
There you go.
I do a weekly show
And
with
round they go.
Yeah,
Brandon
you're right.
Stokely. With Brandon Stokely, we do like a betting NFL picks show every week. And obviously, he's good friends with Peyton Manning. We've talked about Peyton Manning on the show. But I'm going to ask him on our next show that question specifically.
Yeah.
Would he come?
No. Why would he? He's got a great life.
He has, listen.
Right, why would he
He
mess with that
literally
life?
has the greatest life.
Yeah.
When he was here, the PGA gave him an award. They give an Ambassador Golf Award,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave it to him last year in Akron before the Firestone. And he came in, and it was a big dinner, and instead of having him give a speech, he wanted to do like an interview. So we did a fireside chat where I had 30 questions written down.
Yeah.
And I did have about 40 minutes with him before the dinner where we were
Great.
just chatting. And we have a lot of mutual friends. The coordinating producer of First Take now runs his production company. And I knew people at ESPN that were very instrumental in how that show came to be. Peyton basically knew he wanted to call games, but he didn't want to be on the road. And he said, that's not an option for me. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I want to be home I want to tuck my kids into bed. And everybody kept telling him, well, you can't do that. You need to be on the road, and there's production meetings. And
Yeah.
he said, well, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah, right.
So Peyton himself came up with the idea for this
The Manning
format.
cast, yeah.
And I thought he was doing it from his house. He goes, no, it's my neighbor's house. It's his garage. So he literally,
funny.
they have this incredible setup, man cave, golf, simulator, all these screens. And he goes, I tuck my kids in bed even on Monday nights because I walk across the street and I sit down and I do the game with the knowledge and the ability that I have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what a brilliant innovation. Now, I think when his kids are older and raised, he's very much a family man, as is his dad, as is his brothers. I think at some point, general manager is in his future. I do. Because he knows it so well. But I just don't think it's now because his kids are young. And
Can I throw a theory out?
Yeah,
So-
we hear Theory G, then we'll do some super chats.
The theory is, the first time they wanted when they hired Hugh Jackson, I think they hired Kevin. They wanted Kevin Stefanski, but they hired.
They wanted McDermott.
They wanted McDermott, and then
Paul wanted McDermott.
and then
they hired Hugh.
Paul wanted Stefanski a year prior to that.
Yes, when they hired Freddie.
Okay, and they passed on him. You said a story about Josh McDaniels. Do you think that they would go back and question and say Josh McDaniels said, I want complete control, fire everybody? Do you think that if in the case happened where they're looking at a coach, do you think they would consider him?
I would
Consider him? No.
I would not do that.
No.
Personally.
That's run its course.
He's already had 2 shots of running it his way, and it hasn't worked. too.
Yeah.
And it was nasty work.
And we get hung up on the big names, and a lot of times it's not the big names that work out the best. But I truly believe, like the Arntel and Bob Myers model was so unorthodox at the time. It's like, what are you doing hiring an agent to run your organization?
yeah.
Well, who knows the league better than the agents?
And it's a dollar and cents game.
Yeah.
And they know it.
Yeah.
They know it inside and out.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm exasperated at this point. They've tried
I'll throw a
everything.
name out for how you fix the organization where you start. And it's not for the coach, it's for the general manager. But I do think Joe Thomas is a smart enough guy
I've
that
thought
I think
about-
he'd make a great general manager.
I've thought about him. I was thinking about him just a few minutes ago. Number one, I think I don't know. John Lynch had no experience, right? And he just walked in off the street.
John was doing TV.
TV.
Right.
And the people would give him time.
He brings with him a
Shanahan,
cachet.
but again-
Shanahan and Lynch kind of work together.
And Shanahan was first.
They
Right.
give him time.
I agree what we said. I think the head coach is more important in football.
I do.
I think the head coach is more important. They're obviously the GM is very important.
Sure.
I think the head coach is more important. You got to fix that first.
I agree. I
and
agree.
Then marry the GM
Yeah.
who goes with
But
him.
Joe is just when you listen to him talk about the game.
But I
he's
put
just-
Joe in the Peyton category. Why would he want to do this?
Yeah.
Well, Joe, we asked Joe a couple of years ago, why aren't you coaching? I don't want to coach. I want to be with my kids. Then he takes the job in Germany.
Yeah, but he took
Right,
his
but
kids
that
with him.
was-
I know he did, but
But that's not the time commitment that the NFL is.
no, I mean,
I
when
mean,
he was
this stuff
on,
ages
he
you.
made time for us during a week,
Yeah.
a preparation week, and
This
he was
stuff-
putting in the time.
That's this stuff
It
ages you.
consumes your life, and I don't think he has. I don't know him that well. I don't know. I would be surprised if he had the desire to be a GM right now.